A new segment coming at you. It's your boy Dame. Subscribe to me, Dame's World. This might be my favorite segment already because it's going to be so enlightening. Powerful words from a powerful man. This segment is called Malcolm's Talks. And by Malcolm, I mean the great late Malcolm X. Video called Malcolm X interviewed on City Desk. Shout out to Das Nick. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to be doing a segment on the words of Malcolm X and how they apply to contemporary society today, how they applied in the 60s, how powerful and how useful his words were and still are today. I believe Malcolm is suppressed through our educational system because Malcolm's goal was to abolish systems that promoted injustice and subhuman species. So Malcolm was suppressed, so I'm here to bring about the great words of Malcolm X. And this segment, like I said, is called Malcolm's Words, and we're going to decode the language of Malcolm and the ones interviewing him in the 60s, mid-60s, and early 60s, trying to denounce him as they do every great leader. We'll start with this one right here. So, without further ado, just like to break down those bars and just like the eye test, we're going to run the clips.
Good afternoon. No matter what your point of view may be, there is significant in the growth in Chicago and across the United States, if not around the world, of a movement known as the Black Muslims, a movement which is popularly believed to preach a doctrine of hatred for the white race, the ultimate...
Let's already decode the interviewer and how they compare to contemporary society. He said the Black Muslim professes the hate for the white race, already denigrating Muslim people and black people. And if you want to put them together, the Black Muslim that arose in the 60s as somebody who is a hate group. You compare that to today, the ones who go and protest, the ones who go and speak out are declared a hate group. It's the same thing. You watch 60s interviewers compared to today's interviewers, it's the same. Try to detract from the main point and you try to point the finger at the person who is being oppressed rather than the oppressor.
supremacy of the Negro race. Headquarters...
And he said the supremacy of the Negro race. The Black Muslims preach Negro supremacy.
The Muslim movement is here in Chicago in the 5300 block of South Greenwood, and its leader now is known as Elijah Muhammad. He's in residence here. The most active person in the spreading of the Black Muslim movement is Elijah Muhammad's second in command, who calls himself Malcolm X. Malcolm X is our guest today on City Desk. Across the desk, our panelists this week are NBC newsmen Charles McCune, Floyd Calver, and Len O'Connor.
They all come to denounce.
May I begin by asking you, if you will please, outline for us the platform and policies of the Muslim organization.
Well, the platform that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, our religious leader, stands upon is the platform of complete freedom, justice, and equality for the 20 million black people, or so-called Negroes here in America. And he teaches us that because of the seriousness of the condition that our people now find themselves in, that it's absolutely impossible to solve our problems with means other than religion. And he teaches us that the religion of Islam is the only religion that will instill within our people the incentive to stand on our own feet. And instead of trying to force ourselves upon whites or force ourselves into the white society or blame the white man for our predicament and constantly beg him for what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and solve our problem ourselves.
So the whole plight and the ploy of Malcolm and the religion in which he practices and preaches is for overall human equality and to uplift the 20 million black people in America from this evil root in which they've grown upon, which is white supremacy, which is slavery, which is your English name, which is your customs that you aren't adept to because it isn't your natural state. So the goal of Malcolm and who he's speaking for, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as he calls him, I'm not religious, but he is. Righteous people can be within religion. Doesn't matter. He'll say that in some of these videos I'll preach too. But he's speaking for the disenfranchised people, not a hate group, but let's see how they twist it up.
I referred to the popular belief that the Muslims preach a hatred for the white race. You do not subscribe to this.
As you compare it to today, though, they call Black Lives Matter a hate group. They call anybody who speaks, they call Muslims a terrorist, a hate group. They call anybody who goes against Western structure, which is oppression, a hate group and a demolition. But they don't call America a hate group when we send troops to war. They don't call America a hate group when we actually tell nations that they need our help and we go and take their resources and give them quote unquote help. They don't call them hate groups. Peep the message. Malcolm, brilliant man.
No, I've never heard the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teach or preach hatred for anyone. He preaches hatred against evil, against drunkenness, against dope addiction, against poverty, and against having to beg for the things that a man is supposed to have. But I've never heard him teach us or any of his followers hatred toward any human being.
Do you think that some of his followers possibly then have misinterpreted the word that they've heard and follow the practice
All words are due for misinterpretation. Duh.
of hatred?
Don't stick the intent to these people when it gets mistakenly misinterpreted. It's the same as the Black Lives Matter. There are going to be some people who may scream and shout the concept who don't mean well and may mean to just fuck shit up, but that doesn't subjugate everybody of that coalition to that action. That's what they always try to do. They try to tell Malcolm, oh, you're a hate group because of this incident. Oh, you guys aren't positive because of that incident, nullifying all the good incidents that they do.
Or the white race?
I don't think that any Muslim practices hatred toward anyone. We have businesses around the country that are patronized by whites, and we have many businesses here in Chicago, and our customers are white as well as our own kind. And a white person can go into any of these places of business, and he'll have to admit that he is treated with more respect, and he finds more dignity there than he will find among the so-called Negroes who profess to be teaching love for everyone.
You've had twice you referred to the Negroes, the so-called Negroes. You find some fault with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't. He thinks it's a genetic behavior to be a Negro. He thinks it's a classification of a human race. That's what racism really is. You're different. So when Malcolm says so-called Negro, he's emphasizing that it's just a concept you guys made to imply that we're inferior. Kill him, Malcolm. Get him. Malcolm's Talks, episode 1.
Mr. Muhammad teaches us that Negro is a term that was applied to us during slavery by the slave master. And right today, it's a term that is used only to point out the descendant of slaves. It's never used for black people, period. Africans can come to this country. They aren't called Negroes. And if they are called Negroes, they resent it. So if Negro meant black, as we've been taught, it would be a term that would be applicable to or applicable to everyone. But he says that it is something that means a slave, or something it means something that has been left out of society, politically, economically.
Yes, Negro, second-class citizen, subhuman, criminal. We can give all type of connotations to it, but we know Negro doesn't get the rights of a regular citizen. And this racial classification of Negro or Aborigine has been inferior for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. It's just a continuum. When you see this interview in the 60s, watch. He's going to say, is it an anthropological classification rather than just a concept made due to white supremacy?
Educationally and otherwise.
You don't think of it as an anthropological term?
Definitely,
See,
it's not an anthropological.
he doesn't see it as an anthropological term. If you know, anthropology is the study of human life, and an anthropologist would classify them as a different human, a subhuman, if it was an anthropological term, which I would have to adhere to him believing that it is an anthropological term, which it's not.
It's a slave term, and it was a term that was invented in America.
Slave term.
It was used by the slave makers, slave traders, and slave masters, and attached to the property or the chattel or merchandise that our people represented in that particular day.
Mr. O'Connor.
What is your real name?
Malcolm.
See how he disrespects? What is your real name? My name is what I choose it to be. It's not the name that my superiors or my quote unquote masters or my slave master gave me. My name is Malcolm fucking X. What's your name?
X.
Is that your legal name?
Legal name, aka Western classified, aka post-slavery. That's the thing with us black people. Let's compare it to contemporary society. We accept our legal name as if it is something that we should uphold when we know the roots of it came from tragedy. It came from ethnocide. We lost our culture. We lost our true names. We lost our identity, and we were given these quote unquote legal names that they're trying to stick to them. This is the most sickening part. This is what I want y'all to pay attention to the most in this interview is how Malcolm's refusal to comply with racism and racial classification and ethnocide by telling him his English name. He is not that. That is what the slave master gave him. We accept it today. We uphold it. We uplift it. We accept it today. It shows you the oblivion in which contemporary society and black people think today. We accept the slave master name. Watch how he acts to it.
As far as I'm concerned, it's my legal name.
Have you been to court to establish the charge?
I didn't have to go to court to be called Murphy or Jones or Smith. Excuse me in French. And
Right.
That's
So
all
a
right.
Chinese person,
When it's a Eurocentric name, we don't have to go to court for it, right?
were to say his name was Patrick Murphy, you would look at him like he's insane because Murphy is an Irish name, a European name, or the name that has a Caucasian or a white background. And a yellow person, Chinese is a yellow man, and he has nothing to do or no connection whatsoever with the name Murphy. And if it doesn't look proper for a person who is yellow or Chinese to be walking around named Murphy or Jones or Johnson or Bunch or Powell.
European descendant people, almost as a passed down tradition, think that they own us. We're supposed to accept and take the name that they give us. But fuck that. Fuck their names. We don't need their names. We don't need to be accepted in this society that doesn't accept you.
I think it would be just as improper for a black person or the so-called Negro in this country, as we're taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, to walk around with these names. And therefore, he teaches us that during slavery,
He
the
mad.
same slave master who owned us put his last name on us to denote that we were his property.
Exactly.
But when you see a Negro today who's named Johnson, if you go back in his history, you'll find that he was once his grandfather or one of his forefathers was owned by a white man who was named Johnson.
Exactly.
James Bunch, his grandfather was owned by a
I
white
get
man
the point.
that was named Bunch.
Would you mind?
No, you
telling me
don't
what
get
your
the point.
father's last name was?
My father didn't know his last name. My father got his last name from his grandfather, and his grandfather got it from his grandfather, who got it from the slave master.
Exactly. The point being, we were stripped of our culture. Our last name is not what you gave us. My last name ain't Hamilton. If my passed down from my father and his father and his father and his father, we'll see it came from a white man who was whooping our ass.
The real names of our people were destroyed
Well,
during slavery.
was there any line, any point in the genealogy of your family when you did have to use the last name? And if so, what was it?
The last name of my forefathers was taken from them.
See, that's black strength. He refuses to comply to what he wants him to comply. He wants him to say his name. It's almost like Toby, Kunta, Kente. No, you're Toby. It's the same thing. I'm not going to be Toby for you. I am Kunta. I am Malcolm X. My father, if he did subscribe to your last name, he was ignorant and unaware.
Slaves. And then the name of the slave master was given, which we refuse. We reject that name today.
Refuse.
You mean you won't even tell me what your father's supposed last name was or gifted last name was?
I never acknowledge it whatsoever.
Never.
Let me ask you about the status of Elijah Muhammad. First of all,
Yeah, we'll pause that. We'll pause this. This is already getting too juicy for everybody. 14 minutes in. But this is just the first episode. I just wanted to broadcast this, basically showing how it compares to contemporary society, and all of Malcolm's words essentially do that. He's talking about the name references to being a slave name, an English name that we shouldn't accept. He's talking about racial injustice and his whole plight, while you see journalists skewing the message in 1965 as they do in 2017. So this is Malcolm's Talks, episode 1. Episode 2 coming soon. It's your boy Dame. Comments on the commentary and on Malcolm's words or any of these journalists' words. We're going to have another one coming at you real soon. Peace.